oh, you have to meditate, oh, you have to do affirmations, you have to do a vision board. You don't have to do any of those things. The only thing you have to do is Hello, welcome to the forest located just between Casual Lake and Clarity Mountain. My name is Jess and this is Casual Clarity, where we talk about big spiritual self-improvement type of topics, but we do it in a chill way. So as it's meant to be, the first 5 minutes of my first video recording, I did not have the microphone on. So here we are. I'm going to look different in the rest of the video. Sorry that I look a little, right now. But let's just go give a quick rundown of what this video is about. The law of attraction and manifestation has found its way into mainstream, but as it's found its way into mainstream, it has not brought along with it the depth that's required to really understand it. And one of the most common mantras that we hear now is high vibes only, which, yeah, I agree. Yeah, but no, I don't agree. We're human. So when you run around saying high vibes only, or you hear other people running around saying high vibes only, and, it implies that you can't have bad feelings, but bad feelings live in the world of the reality. So this video is an alternative way for you to think and a refocus point. Now there is some truth to high vibes being required, really just positive emotion being required for you to be able to get what you want in terms of the law of attraction. But it's less about focusing on trying to stay in good vibes all the time, and it's more about learning how to gain positive momentum emotionally. So that's what we're focusing on, and I've got a tool for you, and we're going to run through some examples, help you kind of reframe how you should look at this every day. There's a lot of other parts to this that I'm going to be talking about in future videos, but for today, we're just focusing on this one aspect, which is stop with the high vibes only, and what is the appropriate way to carry yourself in order to get what you want. So it would be like me to continue droning on and on, but considering I'm sitting here doing this in the midst of trying to edit the video, I'm gonna let my past self just take over from here. So, hey past self. Abraham Hicks has something called the emotional guidance scale. It has 22 emotions, and that's just what they are. They are labels of emotions. Editing, Jess, you can maybe put a picture of it here. And it's good. It's great. I really love it. It helps you to find your way from being in despair to somewhere in the middle, maybe boredom, and then up into euphoria or gratitude or whatever. But I find that a lot of people don't really understand their emotions, and it becomes really difficult to pull yourself out of the depths of the worst feelings. So I took the concept of the law of attractions, or of Abraham Hicks' emotional guidance scale, and I went ahead and made kind of a different version of it as a tool for myself and available to all of you. And I call it the Feel Better Tree. Instead of 22 emotions, it has 11 vibes, okay, for lack of better words, which are collections of emotions, feelings, energy, something more identifiable. Sometimes it's really difficult for us to say, I'm feeling frustration versus I'm feeling anxiety. And this eliminates the resistance there, because you don't have to determine which one of those you are. You just need to know which vibe you're falling into and which vibe is a little bit better than where you are currently. The whole point of the emotional guidance scale, or the Feel Better Tree, is to recognize that you are a human, you're emotional, you're gonna go through good days and bad days, and you're gonna be influenced by those around you, even though in all reality you shouldn't let yourself do that. You're going to. And so it helps you to pinpoint where you are, and then recognize what is the next best feeling you could be having, and then help guide you into that next best feeling so that you can work up the scale back to feeling amazing as much as possible. And as you practice this, you'll get better and better at finding out what clicks for you to bring you up to a better feeling state. So the Feel Better tree, I'll put an image of it somewhere here, and you can download it. It's totally free. I just want to help people, so hopefully it's helpful. But it's got 4 categories. The lowest category is you're in the dirt, and the next one up from there is you're on the ground. You're not, feeling incredible, but at least you don't feel buried anymore. The next area is you're up the branches, you're making progress, you're gaining momentum, and then the final area is in the canopy, where you have this beautiful view to look out on and you're feeling incredible. So the vibes are within these 4 categories. So I'm going to give a quick rundown of these vibes from the worst to the best, so that you can kind of get an idea of how you can place yourself, how each vibe feels, and how you can tell there's incremental improvement from feeling to feeling, because you can't expect yourself to jump from the worst to the best. You have to take the steps. So at the very, very bottom in the dirt is stuck, hopelessness, despair, deep depression, maybe mourning. This is, you all know what it feels like to feel stuck. That's the feeling, okay? You don't even need to label it further than that. Stuck is the worst that you can be. The next level up from that is boiling. Boiling includes frustration, anger, irritation, pretty much all of those basic boiling feelings, the ones that make you just, like you want to choke somebody. And the next feeling up, which is still in the dirt, is spinning. This is anxiety, worry, overthinking, fear, racing thoughts. So we have stuck, boiling, and spinning. Those are all in the dirt. Those are all just crap. You don't want to feel that way, but you will sometimes. And you're going to try to climb through them to get above them. The next 2 feelings are on the ground, and this is messy. Messy is the next up from spinning. It's kind of like jealousy, pettiness, kind of like when you know that your frustrations aren't worth it, but you're gonna feel it anyway. It's that. And then up from there is blah. We all know what blah feels like: boredom, disengagement, uninterest, maybe emotional fatigue, or just flatness, or even just accepting these crappy feelings as they are, although you're not getting any relief. And the next section is up the branches. This is where you're starting to gain momentum. So the first one in up the branches is sparked. This is curious, intrigued, a little bit of optimism, a little bit of wonder, and sparked. Next up from there is locked in. Locked in is like girl boss mode, or which I hate that term, but that's kind of the feeling. It's confident, it's self-aware, it's feeling capable, and like you have some control back. So, and then the next area is lit up. Lit up is positive expectation, anticipation, excitement. It's really self-explanatory. Lit up, that's the next feeling. And then finally we are in the canopy. In the canopy we have 3 emotions. They're all wonderful, but they still follow the path. And so the first one is grateful. Feeling grateful is one of the most powerful, positive emotions. I really had to kind of debate which ones really go at the top here in this last section. Grateful is like the sigh of relief after what you were lit up about has come to you. It's the peace and the calm of having the thing. Grateful also encompasses humility, humbleness, and joy as well. And then the next emotion would be, or vibe would be, aligned. Aligned is, you're centered. You feel like you have direction. You feel like you're in control. You're feeling harmony. You're feeling peace. You're feeling trust. And you're having faith. And then the very tippy top is radiant. And radiant is above aligned because it is aligned, but so much so that you are overflowing with joy and light. That, you know what they say, that person walks in the room and everybody lights up or whatever. Radiant, it also sounds self-explanatory, but it's above aligned because it encompasses aligned, but to the point that you're just overflowing. You can't help it but to just pass positivity on. You don't even think about it. You don't try. You're just so you in your center, grounded and peaceful, that others can't help but to be impacted by it. So that's very tippy top. So the whole point of creating this Feel Better tree is because, you know, like I said, we have to try to feel good as much as we can, but we can't always feel good, and we're gonna feel crappy. So the Feel Better tree puts it into a metaphor that's easy to remember throughout life. So for example, you know, if you wake up and you're having a bad day, maybe you woke up in the dirt and you're attempting to climb the tree to feel better. Maybe you woke up and you were in a great mood, but something went wrong, something else went wrong, now you're running late for work and you just fell right out of the tree. You were in the canopy and you fell right out, now you're on the ground. And these metaphors make it stick in your mind. They help you remember that there's a framework to your feelings and that there is a scale to your feelings. And it's something that you don't have to reference as often because you'll just, the metaphor sticks in there better. And then there's downward spirals. That would be falling out of the tree. Upward spirals, which nobody talks about. You can have an upward emotional spiral, believe it or not. And I would call that catching a breeze. As you're moving up the branches, you catch a breeze, helps lift you up there with less effort on your part. And the whole point is to learn what part of the branch you need to grab next time you need to climb again, or you know, where to put your foot when you're trying to go from this branch to that branch. So if I translate that out of metaphor mode, it would be like, when I'm feeling bored, how do I get myself to feeling sparked? Maybe, and this is different for everybody. That's another thing. People go and say, oh, you have to meditate. Oh, you have to do affirmations. You have to do a vision board. You don't have to do any of those things. The only thing you have to do is try to feel better than you last felt. And using this tree will help. So going from bored to sparked, that could be something like, you know, you recognize that you're just sitting on your couch watching YouTube videos like I do all the time. And then you're like, you know, I'm just going to do the thing. I'm going to go out and take a walk. And then as you're taking a walk, you know, you're getting your body moving, you're getting your physiological stuff going, your nervous system's doing things, and it launches you into sparked. But maybe for someone else, taking a walk is the last thing they want to do. Maybe that is going to put them from boredom down to boiling irritation. Maybe they hate walking outside. Maybe it's raining right now, whatever. So you really have to determine for yourself what puts you in each of these categories. And then when you're in the lower categories, when you're in the dirt, on the ground, stuck, boiling, spinning, messy, blah, you have to give yourself some freaking grace. It's okay to feel those things. It's just not okay to live within them the majority of your life. That's where the problem comes in. And sometimes it's so hard to move from the bottom to the top that when you finally do it, you're like, yes. And then let's say something happens and you fall back down to the lower end of the emotional scale. Now you're so upset that you're self-sabotaging yourself, which is in the messy vibe, keeping yourself down there because now you're doing negative self-talk. I was so good yesterday, and I was so good this morning. Now this thing happened. Now I feel like shit, and I can't get out of it. And then what I'm encouraging you to do is, instead of dwelling in the fact that you fell out of the tree, you just accept that that is a part of being human. And it's a part of learning and growing. You never know that the top, up in the canopy has such a beautiful view if you've never been in the dirt. So when that happens, it's okay. And if you are feeling like you're in the boiling category, then guess what? The blah category is an awesome emotion to shoot for. That would be a vibrational win if you could get to blah. So sometimes, like when you are really, really down, when you are in some of the hardest times of your life, it's okay to allow yourself to just be distracted. Sometimes you are feeling so emotionally broken that it's okay to just put on a video and do nothing, because that just might pull you into boredom. And then once you're in boredom in the blah category, then you might be able to do something else that pulls you into a higher category. So, you can't go from boiling to grateful. You can't make that jump. You have to find the steps within. But once you've practiced this enough, it's like you can kind of shoot right through some of these emotions. And even still, sometimes you'll get stuck. But once you've practiced it enough, you can shoot right through many of these emotions. So just remember that what you receive out of life, it's a direct reflection of your vibrational state. But it's not 10% of the time that is going to manifest your future. You're always manifesting. You're always putting out some sort of frequency that is attracting like frequencies. And so the goal is to find peace on a regular basis. It's what you do most of the time, not all of the time. You can't be in alignment or radiance all of the time. You just can't. Please don't expect that of yourself. The Feel Better tree, I made a PDF as well as some like JPEG versions that you could just have in like your photo album, and then some phone wallpapers. I made it this 3 format kit because I have ADHD, and I know that it's really difficult to kind of implement things into our lives, and there's all kinds of different things. It doesn't have to be ADHD. It could be any kind of neurodivergence, or it could be any other kind of situation, or maybe just simple overwhelmment, like emotional overwhelmment in your life right now, or just chaos happening. It's hard to implement things. So I created these so that you can just download them. They're totally free. I'm just going to ask for your email. They're different levels of like integration into your life. So if you have no time to do anything, or like me, you're never going to open that PDF after you download it and look at it once, then you can just use like the phone wallpaper if you wanted to try to implement the Feel Better tree and, emotional guidance and working on your emotional state. And in the comments, I would really like if we could open a discussion about like real honest, raw reflection about how often you feel like you're in a positive state versus a negative state. Like if you had to put a percentage on it, how often are you feeling good versus feeling not so good? And then we can kind of dive into why that might be and how to help get out of it. Like for myself, hiking, camping, just being in nature, petting my cats, hugging my kids for sure. I should have probably put that first. But it's different for everybody. And I would really like my comment section to be a safe place. So please do not judge others for anything. Just exist and allow others to exist. And, those who are meant to reply to your comment will. And I intend on replying to all of them because I'm totally brand new here. And anybody who takes the time to comment on my video, like by all means, I am going to take the time to answer you. So that is where we're ending this today. I'm super excited to be here. And if you watched this far, you are amazing. And I just thank you so much. I really thank you so much. The next episode of this series on the law of attraction, it's going to be all about why people think that manifestation is BS, and what they have right and what they have wrong. And that's going to be a good one. So I just wanted to get this foundational information out about feeling better than you last felt as the primary goal before we dig into the deep nitty-gritty. But I've got 6 episodes planned for this law of attraction series so far, and we're gonna get in the nitty-gritty. So yeah, so thank you so much, guys. I hope you enjoyed your time in the forest. If you want to find your way back to the forest, click subscribe, and if you're interested in the Feel Better tree, you can go follow the link in the description, and you can download it for totally free. So I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.